Es Johnny Jones en casa. En el video de hoy tenemos un montón de suministros de radio que un amigo me dio. Lo siento. Verdome, that is Netherlands. There we go. Alright, let's get to this video. It's Johnny Jones, I'm here at home. And today we got a whole bunch of stuff that I ended up getting. And there's boxes and boxes and boxes of this stuff. Now, I haven't made a video in a while. I've been very, very sick. Still not feeling that much better. But anyways, let's get to this. We have a lot of stuff to show here. And I cannot spend a lot of time on each one because the video would be forever. So let's get started. All right, here we have a high Q line, HQ22222, anyway, SWR power meter, 10 meters and 11 meters. These are well made. This is very heavy too. I've looked this up, and it is quite a bit of money for this right here. And it does measure up to a kilowatt, which is probably more for hams. If you're running a kilowatt on CB, I don't really know why. It's AM. It's very wasteful. run 100 watts on sideband, you'll get further. Maybe. Anyways, here's another SWR meter. Measures up to 1 kilowatt. This is an Aries technology one, smaller and lighter. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but oh yes, I almost forgot. There's a frickin' amp here. And I know what you're probably thinking. Who in the hell are these boys? Well, since I know all of my subscribers are old fucks like me, I propose a challenge. Leave in a comment, without cheating, who these two were, or are, sorry. And you will get a reward. Yes, indeed. A reward called satisfaction. So, this is not the only amplifier that we have in this lot. The other one is massive, and I'm guessing that it puts out a lot of power. But this is just a standard amplifier that you see around a lot. It's usually anywhere from 150 to 200 watts, somewhere around there. They all use the same cases, and they're all gold looking most of the time, but we'll put that there. All right, now before I go any further, let's check this out. You can see this has been sitting a while because I've been sick for a while. We will come back to this. I got it open. Okay, so we have a bunch of mics here. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on these, but we'll take a look at a few of them. See if we have anything of note. Let's see here. This one's very interesting. This is a Midland, and it's actually a power mic, as you can see on the side here. It's got a squelch function too. Lisa, that might be a power mic, but now that I look at it, because I haven't looked at this much, if this has an extra pin, this might be for controlling volume and squelch on your radio. But then again, I don't know. I'd have to open it up and check. Anyways, we ain't got time for that. Sears mics, a couple diesel mics, a broke mic, realistic mic with the up-down buttons, Uniden, Radio Shacks, stuff like that. A couple Radio Shacks. All right, let's put this back in the box and look at one of the other boxes. Hey, I just had to do it. I couldn't control myself. You know me. Well, turns out my initial assessment was wrong. It's not a power mic. This is set up, that's why I want to know how many pins that it had. This is set up to change the volume of squelch of your radio. It looks, anyway, looks like that. So I don't see any place for a battery. So I'm guessing that those controls on the side there are actually for controlling the radio itself, which I've never seen that before. I've seen it with digital radios, but I've never seen it with this looks like it goes to a really old radio, and these are analog knobs. This isn't digital click a button up down channel stuff, so really interesting. Here is another SWR power meter, modulation as well. I do have one that looks very similar to this. But this one looks to be very well worn, and JCPenney actually, made in Japan. So the thing might still work, I'm not sure, but testing comes later. Let's see what else we got. Oh boy. What the hell is this? Cincinnati, is that Cincinnati Microwave? Cincinnati Microwave. Is it a police scanner? Yeah, that's a police scanner right there. Ugh. Looking a little gross, but hey, I'm gross. What else we got here? Oh, cute little antenna. Cute little antenna. You stay right there. Oh, damn. I can't be loud. It's 4:30 in the morning. These are really great, too. In fact, I might even make these the thumbnail here, because these are, honest to God, the smallest SWR meters I've ever seen. This is, they're both for 10 watts and 100 watts. KTO International model SWR 22. This thing is very light. It's made in Korea. This is Pro Trucker, but they honestly look the exact same. There's a slight difference on the height there, but that could just be because this one has little feet and this one doesn't. But they look identical otherwise. Made in Philippines, though. But I thought those were just the cutest things in the world. You can leave that hooked up just in your vehicle. That would be great to have in a little vehicle where you didn't have a lot of room. But I always like keeping an SWR meter attached when I can to something. If I have a radio in a vehicle, I like keeping an SWR meter attached. You don't have to, of course, but it usually works out better for me that way because I love checking SWR, and hey, it's cool. Makes you feel like you're sitting at the command center, right? But also it's nice to see if it rained the day before or it's been raining that whole week. Check and see if something's messed up. Check and see if something has hit your antenna and the SWR is wrong. So I like keeping those in line. We do have, looks like a lot of, these look like 2-meter antennas. I'm pretty sure, I'm nearly certain that this is a 2-meter antenna. Why? Because you see this right here, this coil? Well, I'm pretty sure that this is a trap coil, so that you can transmit on 70 centimeters and 2 meters with these. Now, I could be wrong, but I know for sure that that's a trap coil. You use a trap coil so you can talk on 2 different frequencies. Because when at a certain frequency, this acts as an inductor. So it will block AC current. So you'll be using this portion of the antenna. And on another band, another frequency, I should say, this will be of low impedance to it. This won't be problematic. It won't create a lot of reactance. So you'll be able to use the entire antenna. So I'm pretty sure these are 2 meters, 70 centimeters, but I'd really have to look it up to be certain. We do have a couple tubes in here as well. And I haven't seen a tube in a long time. It's glass. So I think that's a tetrode. Pretty sure. If I'm not, let me look it up. I'll tell you if it's a tetrode. I was wrong. It's actually a pentode. Of course, I should have guessed that because there's 5 there, like a pentagram. Looks like it's seen better days. That doesn't look good to me. It looks burnt or something there. Now, I'm not entirely sure because I don't mess with tubes often, or not often, ever, even though I want to, and I'm actually working on building something with tubes in it. But we will put that down here for later. We do have a large amount of, looks like coaxial cable, but it's, what is that? It's 75 ohm, but it's RG, is it RG68? It looks like RG68. And this looks like 50 ohms. This is really cool. It's something I should have actually shown off with the mics. and I'm going to do a big demonstration of this later. But this is a wireless microphone. So it comes off of the little mount that it's on, and you can sync it up, hook it to a radio. This will attach wherever. You can put it on a wall or put it in your vehicle. It's made by Uniden. It's got 5 pins here. And so basically what you can do is you can walk around your vehicle if you want to, kind of like the cops do, and take the volume up and down there, and talk on your CB radio, which that would be really great for hunting and stuff, I think, or fishing. Could you imagine being at the water in a lake fishing and not having to sit in your truck and talk to people? You could just use this thing. I think that it comes through. I'm not sure if this has a speaker included on it. If it does have a speaker included, that is really great, because you can sit there and listen to people on this as well. But if it's just a mic, then, well, you can't really do much. You can't really get too far away anyway, because you can't hear your radio. So much more useful if it has a speaker in it. It's charged right there by a USB port. I forget what the USB name for that is. USB-C? It might be USB-C. No, USB-C is different. Oh well, screw it. Now, we got a whole bunch of stuff right there. And you think, well, what's left? What could surprise me? Well, hold on. Told you I'd surprise you. Dusty, but hey, I don't know if it still works, but this thing is a monster. It's incredibly heavy. The logo and everything is worn off, as well as the... I'm guessing this is for tuning right here. But most of this you can still read down here. This is SSB. And that looks like AM. High and low setting. Operation and standby, I'm guessing. Because standby is down here, so I'm guessing that means just operating. You can put this in standby mode because it is a tube amplifier. And boy, is it heavy. On-off button, of course. And this might be a light. For the meter, I'm not sure, but this thing is massive. And if you look back here, you can see the tubes, perhaps anyway. It's a little hard to see them, but there are tubes in this fucker, and this thing is probably about 30 pounds. Now, when I first got this, I was looking at it wondering, how much is this putting out? And I really have no way of knowing all, to a T, but I tell you this much. This thing, if you look at the fuse, and now this could be replaced with a bigger fuse, but I don't think it has been. I think this is the actual fuse. That's a 40 amp fuse. And 40 amps is quite a lot for a power supply to put out. I mean, that's a hefty wattage right there, because this right here, you can run one of those off of a 15 amp power supply easy. It doesn't take that much, but this thing with a 40 amp fuse, I'm guessing puts out a lot more than 200 watts. Maybe 500 watts, 600 watts. I really don't know. I wouldn't know, because yeah, it might tell me the current that I need, but that doesn't really tell me too much on the output power. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you on this one, but damn is it heavy. And it looks like something that one of the Super Bowl guys would have. You know what I'm talking about, Channel 6. So yeah, that's quite a bit. Now on SSB, if this thing puts out 500 watts or so, you could talk all over the damn place on SSB. Hams don't use 500 watts on SSB. They use 100, 200 watts usually. And that's just the radio with the built-in amp. They don't have amps like this usually. They usually just talk sideband with 100 or 200 watts, and they talk thousands of miles. You can talk thousands of miles on SSB on that sort of wattage. I don't see the point in using a large amplifier for AM just because it's so wasteful. You're putting a lot of power out in a huge spread. And because you have the carrier and you just, the carrier wastes so much power. But when you're using sideband, you know, you're saving so much more energy and we're not saving it, but you're putting more energy into your voice. But sideband, of course, is a little finicky. But when you're dealing with ham transmitters, they have that shit perfect. I mean, a ham transmitter sounds wonderful on sideband, and they have digital ones that can lock onto a signal. Whereas CB radio, we have to fool with the clarifier a little bit. But still, I recommend SSB radios if you want to do a little bit of skip talking on a bare minimum radio. Like if you have a Galaxy with no amplifier and you would like to actually talk some skip. I'm not saying it's impossible with AM. I've done it. I've said that a million times. 600 miles, right? But turn it on SSB and go on channel 38. And you'd be surprised, even with a standard stock radio with SSB, putting out those 12 watts, you can actually get some contacts, and it's pretty cool. Anyways, now if you haven't guessed, the picture I showed you, I'll give it to you one more time here. This is the picture I showed you. Now, who was this? Time is ticking, my dear friends. Well, did you get it? I'll tell you. It is Ron and Clint Howard. Yes, that is Clint Howard. You've seen him in a lot of movies, I'm sure, but you never knew. Maybe you didn't. Possibly you did. I don't know. Maybe you've never watched a movie. Maybe you don't know what a TV is. Maybe you're dreaming and this isn't a real video. But see, Ron here is a director, and he's also been an actor. And Clint has been an actor in a lot of movies. Did you know Clint Howard was a little kid who walked around with a sandwich and a cowboy hat on the Andy Griffith Show? Yeah. He's literally been acting as long as his brother. Now, I didn't show you everything, guys, because there's just so much stuff. There's actually the cord that goes to the amplifier. We have just all kinds of stuff here. What is this here? This is a radio tuning antenna, CB matching. Is it a oh, I think that's for tuning your antenna on your car for your CB radio. I'm pretty sure that's what it was for. There actually used to be little setups where you could actually use your car antenna that you listen to the radio to talk on CB, but you don't see them much anymore because, quite frankly, CB isn't as crazy and big as it used to be, so they don't manufacture stuff like that anymore. But it used to be a big thing. We got some different antennas. We got, let's see, what's this? Talkback speakers, stuff like that. My God, more mics. Just a large amount of all kinds of different stuff. Anyways, this down here, this is full of speakers, talkback speakers and such. So, yeah, we've got a lot of shit around here. But, this is going to take forever to check and go through this stuff, but I will be checking it, of course, make a video on that. And I'll also be making a video on a Cobra 85 soon as well. Alright, so I'm going to have to eventually test all this stuff, which I will get to shortly. I haven't made a video in quite a while because I've been pretty sick, like I said. I'm not getting that much better. I do feel a little better, but I'm going through a complicated process that is probably way too damn boring, and I don't really want to talk about it because I'm here to have fun, not talk about my medical issues. Now, today, as you know, each video we have songs that I recommend that you listen to. Now, unfortunately, I can't play them. I'd love to play a snippet of them, but I'm just too afraid of getting hammered by YouTube. Not afraid because I give a shit about YouTube, but just because I don't want to lose you guys. You guys are like my family, and you mean a hell of a lot to me. And I love making these videos. So today's songs, we have Mojo Nixon, UFOs and Big Rigs and Barbecue. There's Mojo Nixon, UFOs, Big Rigs, and Barbecue. Now, I can't really play this one for you, so sorry about that. The next one is America, called Sister Golden Hair. And this is a really great underrated song that I don't think a lot of people know about. I think because it was around during the era of the Eagles, and it sort of got covered up because it sounds very similar to the Eagles, but it's a little different. But I think it just got covered up because I don't hear people talking about this song very often. Of course, I don't hear people talking about my kind of music very often anyway. But you know what? I'll play a snippet of it so you'll know what it sounds like.
Well, I keep on thinking about you, sister, golden hair surprise, and I just can't live without you. Can't you see it in my eyes? I've been one poor correspondent. I've been too hard to find, but it doesn't mean you ain't been on my mind. It's hard to drop down to a G.
It's Johnny Jones. I'm here at home, and I'll see you later.